Terve, terve. Tuossa meni poikki, flippas toi live-chatti. Mutta, niin kuin sanoin, voittoon lopetetaan. Joten tää on tämmönen lyhyempi live-chatti luultavasti. Kello on jo 1:15. Onneksi ei ole töitä. Sorry. Mitä mä oletin, että ollaan jo lataamassa peli? Saakeli puhelimet. Pitäisikö ottaa nää pois? Ei loistaa. Nyt loistaa tulevaisuus niin sanotusti silmiin. Oja. Let's go. Aina koko ajan väärin. Täällä tsekkaillaan saman keikka Mikkeli.
Welcome to EA Sports. I'm James Cebulski. Well, here we go. The debut performance in the EASHL.
Yeah, buddy.
Both these teams look ready to go, as does the official.
Let's go. Jaager ja joku presidentti, se on. Mä pakko ottaa paitsi. Toi yksi oli out of the game.
Lots of time left in this period. We've still got zeros on the board. Face off here in the neutral zone, and we are back underway. They're going to keep things moving here. The Icebreakers gain possession along the wall. And that's intercepted by Jaeger. Takes himself free. Easy pad save made by Wagner. Inside his own end, moves the puck. Passes it to Slapshot. And he
Mitä toi presidentti tekee?
Hold of the puck in the open ice.
Ihan turha. Muuvi.
And a stiff break setup.
Kyllä se puolustaa osaa.
To slap shot. Tries to get the puck to Frost. And they send it right back to him. Here's a shot. That's blocked. Nice zone entry on the left side. And that slides right out to center ice. Scoops up the puck here. Oh, textbook poke check to turn that over. Great feed from the left side. Centering feed! And he'll hang on to it to regroup here for a moment. And the goaltender comes up with a piece of it to keep it out of the net.
He's got a knack for getting the puck to the net, especially from long range, James. This one's denied, but it's all about the chaos that it creates when it gets net front.
From the left side into the middle of the neutral zone. Feeds it over. Right on the doorstep. Muffs the shot attempt.
Kesti vähän liian kauan toi syöttö.
Slides it diagonally to Yeager. Oh, he just got enough of that to keep it out. Passes it over. Into the corner now.
Bravo.
A chance in front. Redirected off one of his own line mates there. Slides it over with pace to Frost. Takes it to the front. And that's turned aside by Lehman.
Muistakaa lapset.
With a nice save.
Sillä ei ole väliä, jos sä pääset kikkaan, vaan silloin väliä. Että saat sä häirittyä sitä niin paljon, että se ei saa maali.
Sends a pass over.
Prosenttipeliähän tämä.
Handles the puck at the point. Oh, tremendous stop on the play.
You see goaltenders working with traffic and practice all of the time, and the goaltender is able to find this because he's dialed in, his eyes are on the puck.
Tarpeeksi painetta, niin toinen ei pääse tekemään.
Getting into the later stages of
Tai
this.
epäonnistuu.
Still looking for our first goal. And momentum on their side as they win the draw here inside the offensive zone.
Puck possession.
Trying to shake loose. Oh, great move to sidestep the check. Great play with the stick by Yeager. There's the win.
Jaager, hei.
The penalty shot.
Ehkä sun pelit on jo pelattu.
He takes a deep breath at center ice. It's go time here. Oh, he missed on the penalty shot too.
Ouch, this one hurts. I mean, it's just you and the goaltender. All eyes are on you, and I think he got a little too fine here and just misses the net.
The Nighthawks win the defensive zone faceoff. He's got a chance on a breakaway.
Ei saanut, voi jumalauta.
And that concludes the first 20
Tekemälle
minutes
saa.
of the second period action. Stick around. Put your twos up because the second period's about to go down. Action has resumed here in period number 2.
Sorry, olisi pitänyt presidentille syöttää.
Well, Cheryl, how do you sum this one up through the first 20 minutes?
The Nighthawks need to keep their foot on the gas. They have the majority of the shots.
Tossa sen näkee. Puolustaa oikein, ei uskalla mennä.
It'll go in eventually if they continue to put it towards the net.
Tulee nössöksi. Sitä, mitä Suomen joukkueella näkyy.
No score in this one.
On nähnyt jo pari vuotta MM-kisoissa. Ei uskata pelata.
They take control of the puck. Takes the feed. The Icebreakers have a hold.
Silloin sä et ole ansaittu paikkaa, jos sä et pelaa usko.
Here's a pass. He'll keep it alive and moves it ahead. Brings the puck into the offensive end now. The Nighthawks looking against the half wall. Takes a shot. Oh, what a stop with the blocker by Wagner.
Sori.
Great heads-up play by Frost.
Vitsikö, että on vaikea väliin syöttää tollasia. Jotakin härmät kestää odottaa sitä pientä, jotain parisadasosa juttuja.
Still lots of time left in the period. The game is still scoreless. Jager's won the draw there on the attack. Oh, and he steps
Sorry.
up with the glove to stop that one. Up along the wall on the right side and into the attacking area. Handles the puck. Avoids the poke check.
Hyvä on.
Retains possession.
Kaunis
That
yritys.
is knocked off. We'll get a face-off here. See if we can pick up some momentum again here as a face-off is ready to go. The Nighthawks take possession here inside the offensive zone. Picked up by Frost. With the puck inside the defensive zone. Some solid defensive work and 2-on-1. Here we go.
Tuttu. Sorry, my bad.
Broken up with a great.
Omat on väsynyt, tekee ihan tyhmiä ratkaisuja.
The Nighthawks gain control of it. Oh, my, you could feel that from here.
Well, that has to hurt, and he's getting up slowly. The whole body rattles when you get hit like that.
Grabs the puck in the defensive zone. And he takes the dish. Quick snap. Point blank. Stopped by Lehman. Grabs it in his own end.
Ai,
Pass stolen in the open ice. Moves the puck along the half wall. And it's a quick pass to Frost. And skilled use of the stick to poke the puck away. It's a 2-on-1. Sends it across. Oh, spectacular
jos
save.
vähän malttanut, niin jos saisi hyvät paikat.
Takes the feed.
Hyvät paikat.
The Nighthawks gain control of the puck against the wall. Moves it to slap shot. Feeds the puck over to Frost. And he slides it quickly to slap shot. And he sidesteps the check. He's got a snap. He scores! Well, hands, and more mitts on that play.
Magic mitts, James, and you know it is so difficult to bend when you pull the puck in tight to your feet, and man, this was a clinic. But after the deke, the ability to finish too, all the way around, textbook.
Just here in the late stages of this frame, the Icebreakers have taken a 1-0 lead. Now a quick pass to slap shot. Shot off a stick. Here's a chance behind the net. Picked up along the wall by Frost. Can't complete the pass as it goes off a stick. Denies him. He got all of it. Rocked him. Solid hit on that play. The Icebreakers move the puck in the defensive zone. And there's the horn bringing the second period to an end. All right, they say 3 is the magic number. Period number 3 is coming up next. Time to drop the puck here in period number 3.
Let's go, man.
All right, the puck is
Joo, tossa samaa Chigalle puhelimessa.
Cheryl, 40 minutes in the books now.
Laulumikkeä, kekkymikkiä.
One.
The Nighthawks are fortunate to be in a close game here, James. They've had good goaltending, but they haven't been able to generate anything offensively. They got to get on their toes because they've been chasing the game. They've been on their heels. They need to get some quality opportunities, and they need to convert.
Pad save, and he made it look easy. Great job there. Passes the puck over to Frost. Over the pass. Big time stop there.
What a fantastic save from a high-danger scoring area, James. And, I mean, he's bailed the ice.
Good defensive stop with the poke check. Wagner's got it, and the officials blow the play dead.
Well, and this is a smart play. He's been dialed in all night and recognizes that he doesn't want his team to make any mistakes. The safe play sometimes is to hold on.
The Nighthawks have created numerous scoring chances, but they've just run into a hot goalie tonight here early in this third period. Makes the save, but barely with that one.
Wagner's able to make that save look easy, James. It's because he gets to the top of his crease, he cuts down his angles, and then he can redirect it to safety.
He scores! Tie game!
Well, you can't worry about what happened in the game, James. It's all about what you do now, staying in the present. That's exactly what they've done, and they've got the equalizer.
The Nighthawks have got to keep pressing here, Cheryl. After getting that equalizer, they've got to feel that buzz right now.
Yeah, they'll want to build on top of that goal and really just continue to do what they've been doing all game, and that's possess the puck. We've been waiting for this to happen because they've been all around it. It finally did.
The Icebreakers scoop it up along the boards. Some good stick work to force that turnover. Slides the puck over. The Icebreakers have it now. Sends it quickly to Frost. And they'll go on the attack after that turnover.
That's good.
Coming up as the puck goes up and over the glass. Plenty of playing time left in this frame. We got a tie game. The Nighthawks win the draw. From the neutral zone now. Jagger's going to play it against the half wall.
Lämäri tulee. Ei sit rannare. Tää vaan lämätä. Aina kun mä lämään. Aina kun mä
The
lämään.
Nighthawks have found the go-ahead goal here in the back half of the third period.
This is exactly where they want to be, James. Late in the third period, you have the lead. Now you have the momentum, and you certainly want to attack.
Nice,
You want to make sure that you're in good defensive posture when the puck transitions.
Shuts them down. Oh, what a chance here. Feeds it over. Here's another feed.
Petot nyt.
Tries to get it out of their own end. Grabbed along the board by Frost. Slides the puck across to Slapshot. The Icebreakers play it along the wing. Oh, great play to sidestep the poke check. Centering feed.
Sai pullalla se. Just näitä pullapellejä.
The Icebreakers' perseverance pays off as we are tied here in the back half of the third.
Perseverance, you said it. Just finding a way to get it done and stick with it. That's what they've done, and they found themselves here. They've got the equalizer now. It's a matter of now attacking and finding a way to get on top.
Slapshot's got it in the defensive end. And that one's stolen at center ice. All alone.
Yeah. Älytön. Älytön. Mikki droppi. Double it. What up?
One-on-one battle, but he fakes and is able to bury it in the back of the net. He's in all alone, and he makes the fake to his forehand, moves it to his backhand, and slides it home.
Let's go.
The Nighthawks have to be feeling themselves after taking the lead with that goal here in the third.
Yeah, and it's not much of a cushion the way this
Let's
is
go.
going back and forth, James, but it's something. You're in the lead, so now you want to continue with that tempo. Find a way to push your opponent back. Continue to punch and press.
The Icebreakers have it now. Gets it back. Tries to get the puck over to Frost. Play rolls on. Nearing the final minute of the third. Oh, look at this. Great read to break up the play. A chance on the rush here. Slides it across. Oh, what a stop denying that rush.
Jagger's been feeling it, James. He got the go-ahead goal, and now the puck's on his stick.
There's a collision with some authority. Great poke check on the reach. Slides it quickly to Slapshot. Oh, that's one way to make
Mites tää mun pelaaja nyt
They
oikein?
desperately need a goal. The net is empty. Attackers out.
Tästä jää
Handles the pass at
noppa
center.
kuntoon vaan.
And the puck skips out.
Katso pääseekö viimeisillä voimillaan. Ja veti jalatolta ja se on vielä opettu! Ei ollut kaukana, että olisi kussuha.
Yeah, that'll seal the deal, James. The insurance
Whatever.
marker and a lot of fun as well. Goal scoring is fun.
Saakeli, mikä jutina taas.
It is an empty net.
Hirveä heada.
Maintain that persistence like they
Kyllä.
have all night long. They add the empty netter, and I think that's fair to say. This is over, right, Cheryl?
Oh, it's over, James. No question about it. You can see the elation on all the faces and on the bench. They know it. It was a hard-fought
Vedetään vielä yksi.
Well, a big moment here.
Last
in the
dance.
SHL. First game, first victory.
And you know, it's really important, James, that they take a moment to celebrate it and embrace it. I mean, wins go by too quickly, and when it's the first ever, you have to find a way to appreciate the moment.
Level up. 2+2. Ai jäbät lähti mennä. No ei se. Ottakaa oli ihan faksu. Ui. Joo. Mikä läppä toi nyt on? Let's play, man. Mä klippailen. Mulla on saksalainen logo. Ei kiinnosta. Se lähtee seurauspeli. No niin, mennään. Me ollaan kaikki saksalaisia perseereitä. Kummeleista. Tuo hei. Jotka ei tiedä. Tai tietää. Mennään noin matsiin. Sanotaan, kun saat. Rapuroponen ja lasikopun merkitys. Siellä hyväksyttiin rapuropana friendit. Voidaan viikossa sekoillaan, niin sitten lähtee vaihtoon. Jossa perusajiin.
Back on the front of the mic. Now let's see how this thing handles plosives about 3 inches off. Please provide pizza pronto. Please provide pizza pronto. Please provide prepared pizza pronto. And with my lips on the grill. Please provide pizza pronto. Please provide pizza pronto. Please provide prepared pizza pronto, pals. Now I am right on top of the 565 with my lips touching the grill, and here's how it's sounding. Now about 6 inches off of the mic with it pointed to the corner of my mouth, and here's how it sounds. Now about 1 foot away from the microphone, about 2 feet away from the 565, and about 4 feet away from the Shure 565.
Come on now.
Now I'm typing on a Gatoron Blue
Otetaan
Switch
uusiksi.
keyboard to see how much of it picks up versus my voice. And gamers,
Näitä
here are
paran-
the sad W and spacebar keys. Now here is how the 565 sounds about 3 inches from my mouth in a relatively well-treated room. And now here is how the 565 SD sounds about 3 inches from my mouth in a completely untreated room. Now let's see how effective the microphone and the mount are at rejecting shocks. I'll start by tapping on my desk to see if it can reject that. And then I will tap on the boom arm. Let's also see if the microphone has any kind of resonant frequencies when it's bumped. Obviously, this is also a handheld mic, so I need to test how it's going to reject that kind of noise. Although I don't recommend doing this, I am going to include a demo. Here's how the mic sounds with the grill unimpeded. And when I cut the grill, here's how it sounds. Sounds quite different. Here's how it sounds unimpeded again. And when I encapsulate it with my hand, here's how it sounds. Not good. Now let's do a quick spoken word comparison between the 565 and a bunch of other mics. This is the 565, 3 inches off, gain of universal audio at stated 51 decibels. Let's hear the first mic. Starting on the Behringer XM8500, I am 3 inches off, gain still at 51 decibels. This microphone costs about 20 to 30 bucks, and here's how it sounds.
Mitä tässä tapahtuu? No huhu.
Back on the 565 again, here is a palette cleanser, nothing has changed. Let's hear the next microphone. Now I'm on the Shure SM58, 3 inches off, gain at 51 dB, 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. This microphone costs $100, and it's how the younger brother to the 565 sounds. Here is the 565 again. Let it clear out your ear holes, and here's how it sounds. Let's move on. Now I'm on the Sennheiser E835, 3 inches off, gain set at 51 decibels. This microphone also costs about $100. This should sound quite a bit brighter, but here is how Sennheiser sounds compared to the Shure. Back on the 565 for another palette cleanser, blah blah blah, talk talk talk, let's do some more. Now I'm on the SE Electronics V7, 3 inches off, gain still set at 51 decibels. This microphone also costs about $100. It is super cardioid as opposed to cardioid, and here's how this sounds compared to the 565. This is the 565. We are also recording 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. Let's go to another mic. Now I'm on the AKG D5, 3 inches off of this, with my gain still set at 51 decibels. This microphone costs about $120, and here is how this sounds from AKG compared to the 565 SD. I believe this is the midpoint palette cleanser on the 565. Let's hear another mic. Now I'm on the Shure Beta 58A, 3 inches off, gain still set at 51 dB. Make sure to check the lower third. This microphone costs about $150, and here's how it sounds compared to a slightly cheaper sibling. This is the 565. Yap, yap, yap. That's all I do. Yep. Now I am on the Mojave MAD, 3 inches off, gain at 51, 24-bit, 48K. It's like the worst rap song ever. This microphone costs about $180, and I'm embarrassed. Let's move on. Here we go. The auditory Q-tip is back, also known as the Shure 560. Go to the conclusion. Alright, let's go ahead and conclude this shun. I must say, I was really surprised how different the 565 sounded compared to Shure's other handheld dynamics. And first up, as far as pros, just like pretty much every single Shure microphone, the build quality on this thing is absolutely fantastic. And secondly, thanks to this massive treble boost, when you are right on top of the microphone, it still maintains a relatively clear sound. And then as far as cons, on the note of that massive treble boost, I find that once you get a little bit off of this microphone, 3 or more inches, that boost can be a little bit overwhelming because you don't have as much proximity effect to offset it. So in more of a studio environment, a little bit further from the microphone, I think that boost can be a little bit overpowering. And now, what are my overall thoughts and opinions of the Shure 565 SD? As far as the overall sound, I would classify this as a bright and trebly sounding dynamic. It does have a controlled low end, which works well for close miking. The mids are a little bit boosted in the upper range, but that kind of takes a back seat to what comes next. A massive boost in the treble range, which makes this very bright, very trebly, and very open sounding for a handheld dynamic. On the electric guitar, I think it's all right, but that treble boost is a bit much, and I found that it really picked up on every single string squeak. It just seems like that boost accentuates that nastiness on the guitar, so it's not my favorite for that application. On the acoustic guitar, yes, it is exciting, but again, I think that boost is a little bit too much. It starts to sound a little bit classy, or maybe just a little bit sharp. Not my favorite for that application either. And then we get to singing vocals, and that is my favorite application for this microphone. I think the treble boost is really flattering, especially when you're right on top of it, because it doesn't come across sounding too dull or dead. It still has a bit of excitement. And finally, for spoken word, I think this microphone comes across a touch on the sibilant side. It is very treble focused. I wasn't a huge fan of it at a distance of 3 or more inches, but when you are right on top of it, that treble boost maintains this comparatively clear sound compared to some other handheld dynamics. And to wrap up, would I recommend the Shure 565 SD? Both yes and no. I know there are going to be people out there who love how bright and trebly this thing is, and if that is you, I say go for it. I don't see any deal breakers with this thing because that's the sound that it's offering, and Shure builds really high quality mics. This is no exception. So if that's the sound you're going for and this is within your budget, I say go for it. But then as far as my personal preference, I don't love how bright this thing is because I record a little bit further away from the microphone, and I think that boost is a little bit overpowering. It's a little bit grating and can be a little bit sharp and sibilant. So for my use in a studio, I would be leaning towards one of the other handheld dynamics that I compared it against, or maybe one of the handheld condensers if I wanted to stay in this form factor. But once we start looking at this for stage use, which is what it was designed for, I said this exact same thing in the Shure 8C review, that treble boost starts to make a lot more sense because once you get on top of it, you don't get an overly muddy and dark sound. It still sounds clear. So if you're looking for a stage microphone that offers a bit more treble than the other Shure handheld dynamics, but doesn't extend too far into the air frequencies, I think this is a really nice offering. And a bonus, it looks really cool. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Freddie Mercury's microphone. So double bonus points. Okay, bye.
What is up, obscure mic people? Mark, your host with the
No niin,
most.
päästiin kuulla.
I was out for a minute. Normally, don't ever get close to a video being out for a week, or close to a week, but I did this time. Here, Freddie Mercury mic. It is a USA model. It's an old, not a newer one, but an old. Shure Brothers Incorporated, made in the USA. And as usual, handheld dynamics don't take me a whole lot of time to go through and talk about bells and whistles and all that good stuff, but we'll do our best. And we'll look at this video on the Shure SM. Wait a minute, I almost said 7B, SM58. So we're on the Shure SM58. So Let it in. Let it fill your ears with all of its glory. This is a microphone that I kind of slept on for a long time, just because handheld dynamics and the fanciness of, like, in-the-dress broadcast style mics and all that good stuff. And I just slept on this thing, but it really is a great mic. It's really hard to not just be like, grab one of these and be done. They're just really good. A lot of people swear by the 565 SD as well. So we're going to hook it up and see how it compares. Again, fill your ear holes with this so we can switch to. Before I switch over, I want to give a big
Ei
thanks
noin
to
tuollaiset
Jim.
aina päätyy asti
This
asti.
microphone
No nyt keskitytään saatana
that you
videoon.
released to them was on one impedance in particular. You can take the XLR out of the bottom and switch the impedance from low to high. 1970s mic, of course, they had it on high impedance, so it was a little thinner and this and that. And I'll show you that, but I switched it over to low impedance, and it sounds a lot better. So big thanks to them for reminding me.
Sieltä laitetaan.
You can switch the impedance, and this was set up on high impedance by default. Let's switch over to this now, the SM58. All right, now we're on the 565 SD. I'm sure from the 1970s, this is what it sounds like in low impedance mode. I'll go ahead and show you what it sounds like in high impedance mode, since I already had the high impedance mode. Arnold Palmer's got a big one. Let's scroll that footage and I'll get back. This right here, the Shure 565 SD. From about 1970. This is what it sounds like. Okay, so this sounds better in low impedance. It's more full. It is still brittle up top, but let's go through and do these back and forth tests real quick. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pineapple pizza. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled pineapple pizza. Similar, but I feel like the 565 SD does a little better. When you get right on top of the Shure SM58, this is what it sounds like. When you get right on top of the 565 SD, this is what it sounds like. I'm going to take the microphone, go background in the front. Not scientific, just quick stuff. Talking to the front of the microphone, we're going to go access of the background to the front of the microphone on the 565 SD. Handling noise on the SM58. Some of the best handling noise in the business. Handling noise on the 565 SD. Maybe a little more than 58, but comparable. Alright, so bottom line, I think this is a nice sounding microphone. I can see this being favorable over the 58 for some on stage, because this does have a very light top end while retaining a lot of the qualities that make the SM58 really, really good. And some may just simply like this 1970s chrome style finish. It is nice. It is pretty. I mean, I dig it. But I dig all microphones because that's just what I'm into. Because I'm weird. 565 SD, I imagine the sound hasn't changed a ton. I'm sure it's changed a little, but it wasn't really so. I think if you're looking for something a little brighter than the SM58, but is also built really well, and still has a lot of the characteristics of the 58 besides the top, and I would give this mic a 7. I think it's good. I think it's definitely worth buying. It's a nice mic. I prefer the 58, but I get why some people might enjoy this more. It's different strokes for different folks, and it is a classic, and it is pretty, and it does sound fairly good. I don't love the top end. I think it's a little bit grainy, especially right? Not terribly, but it's a fine grain, like Spam.
Both teams get a chance to refresh and reset. We'll be back with second period action in no time.
En nähnyt. Joku hyttenä käynyt tosi saakka. Saa löydättää näitä arvosteluja. Ja niitä näytti aina. Todellinen piikki.
Edmonton's got a lot of skill on this roster, and we are seeing it in full effect. And we're only, halfway through this game here, period number 2.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, isn't it? I mean, the confidence at which the entire line is. Well, he had the goaltender beat.
Vaan heität jonnekin. Et jää siihen. No.
A big no-no as the officials blow the play dead. Edmonton's dominated right from the start. Their offense clicking on all cylinders, and they lead here in the second. Picks up the puck. Slides the puck down low. Here's a great use of the stick right there to poke it away. There's the whistle. We've got it offside.
Saatiin tuo paine pois.
Nearing the midway mark of the period. Edmonton's got a 3-goal lead. And off the draw, they take the puck. Helsinki's got it in their own zone. Oh, what a hit check. He got all of that. They've got the defense outnumbered. Helsinki's got the puck along the boards. With possession along the wall. He tries to tuck it in.
No. Kiekko syöttö, ei tästä tullut muuta yhtään mitään. Syöttö on sille kukaan parhaimmassa paikassa. Ja totta kai luetaan peliä. Ihan perusjuttu. Sai vielä aikaiseksi. Mihin se syö? Tänään vetää. Kyllähän se sen jää. Minä tiedä mitä. No. Mitä vittua sä röönettä ja teet? Ihan vitun rauhassa. Ottaa päähän just tällaiset, jotka ei saatana syötä. Ei vaan jotain turhaa paskaa. Oi veljet. Ai, se taas siinä paljon. Vähän liian hidas. Vähän liian hidas.
Had no shortage of scoring opportunities tonight, and they have capitalized on plenty as they take a sizable lead here late in the second. Helsinki's got the puck again.
Ei syötä. Syötä nyt se kiekko.
Driving right to the front.
Syötä. Syötä.
Lays into the body on the play. Thunderous hip check on the play. Dishes it off. Scores at the buzzer, and they get one.
Well, coaches always say the first minute and the last minute of every period are critical. Well, now they've got momentum heading into the next frame. They got to carry it forward.
And they grab possession of the puck after that center ice face-off. And there's the horn, 2 down, 1 more to go. Both teams will get a chance to catch their breath and get ready for a big third period next.
Noita mikrofoneja on niin saakelista. Oikein moni.
Hope you're having a great night. 2 periods down, 1 more to go, and they're ready to drop the puck here on period number 3. Well, the moment of truth for both teams here as we are underway in the third. Well, Pounder, we've played more than 40 minutes now in this one. How do you view things?
Ai, kun oli hyvä syötä. Tuo oli ihan älytön syötä.
Hard to believe you're one-on-one with the goaltender. This is a product of
Nyt vaan se syöttää.
man, it's a game of inches.
Big time stop there.
Well, he's got real quick hands, and he doesn't need much time or space to get that shot off. He's known for finding the back of the net from that area. But the save is made, and he's turned aside.
And a poke check knocks the puck away. Edmonton's on the attack. The Bulldogs have the puck in the corner. Helsinki's got a hold of the puck now. There's a Edmonton's been running away with this one since the beginning of the game, and no signs of slowing down in the third.
It's been a productive night, and this is one of
Se on kun jäädään hengaan.
confidence, and this is important.
Syöttöä ja mennä. Niin kuin pelaajat pitäisi tehdä. Syöttää. Ei. Syöttää. Syöttää. Se oli eka semmonen melkein niin kuin ihan maalikas. No mitä sä Elkku teet? Mitäköhän nää on vetänyt? Kuulokkeet kyllä. Kato, kun se näki, että mulle voi syöttää, sit se menee umpikujaan, missä ei oo vittu mitään jees. Sit mä joudun puolustaa kahta vastaan. Ei niinku, jos tarina on tollanen, niin ette tuu pärjää. Voittoon lopetetaan. Olla niin loppu tähän työhön. Ei enää sovelluttaa. Junnaa vaan tossa. Vai löysikö sen se lähti? Se on syytä. Ai, ihan sinne. Mikä tässä nyt on, kun täällä on? Tää.
All right, game two. It's finished and done. You guys came away with the win. What were you telling the guys coming into this game after losing game one? Going into Indiana, what is your mentality after going 1-1?
Hello.
One team set for their maiden voyage here in the EASHL. Hi, everybody. I'm James Cebulski. Welcome to a fun night here on EA Sports.
No niin. Presidentos. Mä oon nyt presidenttiä yhtävästi.
Both teams are lined up and we are set to get things going.
Yritetään antaa kaikki. Nyt toi ei edes pelaa.
Nice poke check. Taken by McDavid.
Wake up, man.
Nice zone entry from the middle. Look at this. Oh, pokes it away. Gutsy move, but it pays off.
Well, there's nothing truer in this sport
Ja sit saa ihan kujalla täältä.
and that's exactly what happens when he's on the ice because he can use his IQ to scan and read where he is, but it's his speed that creates the openings.
Receives the pass. Teed up and turned
One time.
on his part.
And they search one time.
Off a stick and they can't connect. The Icebreakers will play it in their own end. They try to maintain possession inside the defensive zone.
Pass the fucking puck. Fucking Vitsi, et menee patajumiin tollasen pelleen.
McDavid's got it against the boards. Shot redirected. Shuts him down. Oh, Smart has some play to put that one away.
What the fuck you doing, bitch?
Breakers move the puck in the defensive
Sori
zone.
kielenkäyttö, mut toi ihan vitu reta.
Feed up ahead from the right wing side.
En mä edes halua pelaa. Ei siis... Tuollaisia vittu... Alin pelaaja pelaa... Ei helvetti. Mä ymmärrän, jos sä nouset alimpaan pelaaja, mutta se, että sä pelaat siellä alhaalla yksin. Ja sit kun pitäis mennä ylös, niin sä menet yksin, etkä syötä kenelle. No niinku sitä sakkia, joittenkaan ei tarvitse pelaa. Ota vaikka tappion niistä. Paljon kiinnostaa. Minä nautin pelaamista, enkä katso niitä tilastoja. Siinä on vissiin. Jengi täällä pelaa jonkun bugien kautta ja sit luulee, että ne on jotain saatana pelaajia. Kun pelataan sitä peliä, mitä se änäri on, eikä pilata tätä peliä niillä looseri-vaihtoehdoilla. Mennään. Yhtä vasta. Ei, mennään nyt. Tää on yhtä saakeli odottamista joku kerta. Come on, oi sole mio.
sticks are taped, the jerseys are on, and there is no safety net. It is time to do it for real here in the EASHL. Great energy both inside and outside the arena tonight as we are
Annetaan
just
tuho.
moments away now from puck drop.
Piippu ja mä.
Take
No se
possession
on
and
hyvä.
get this one underway. Here's the pass. The Nighthawks have it against the wall. And lowers the boom with a big time hit.
Well, this is a message-sending hit, isn't it? When you get all of your opponent and you're able to separate the body from puck, you know you've done your job.
Message delivered.
The cliche in hockey is you want to start the game hard and physical and really set the tone, and that's what he was doing right
Penalty shot coming up after that whistle. McDavid's ready for the penalty shot.
McDavid. David Collin.
Perfect timing here, James. I mean, you don't get these opportunities very often when you want to break the tie. You have a penalty shot opportunity, and it's about having the confidence and the wherewithal to know exactly what you're going to do. I think he executes it perfectly.
Jostling for the puck and he loses control. And that's broken up with a stick in front. Picked up along the wall by Ovechkin. Takes a shot.
Wow.
Denied by the defender. Nice block. From the left side it moves to the middle of the ice. Here comes the penalty.
Miksi toi piippupelle nyt vittu ottaa noit jää? Jaa. My bad. My bad, piippujäpä. Väärä call.
Chance one-on-one with the goalie. Denied on a penalty.
Ei,
I think he's done his research, getting a book on the shooter here,
no
James,
helppoa
because he
jälkikäteen näin.
Inching closer to the midway mark.
Yritys oli ihan toisenlainen. Se meni oikealle, vaikka se piti mennä vikaksi vasen.
Works it across to McDavid. And that pass attempt is deflected. From the open
Piippujäpä on loukkaan.
and we'll get a breather here with offside the call. Both teams are set. They're ready to drop the puck. And they take control of the puck here in the neutral zone. Moves the puck into the attacking area. Tries to feed it over to Gusev. Oh, just a great heads-up play by McDavid. The Icebreakers get a hold of the puck along the boards. Monstrous hit on his part in the corner. The Nighthawks will play it from the defensive zone. Shakes off the defender with some nifty moves. The blocker saved by Wagner.
Miten se sai tosta syötettiin? No Nehän huonosta pelaajista hyviä tänne. Only facts.
On a mission tonight, already
Just Graham.
here, and we're still only in the first.
Well, the mission is possible because they've been dominant out there tonight, James. They've been relentless. They competed for pucks, lose pucks at will. I mean, they've outbattled their opponent, and now they're sitting with a 2-goal cushion.
Good heads-up play in the defensive zone. Devastating collision against the wall. Ovechkin's got it in the corner. That's just text trying to shake the defender. He's in all alone with the pass.
Saatana.
The Nighthawks have been
Toinen menee ylös, toinen
still plenty of
porrastus, you know.
and they win that neutral zone draw. And that was read perfectly. What a play by Ovechkin.
Sieltä nyt. Miksi sä jäät ihmettelee? Ei jumalauta.
Defensive play to pick off the pass.
Come on. Yrittäkää nyt jos et.
And
Galactic hit there.
they have to be
Vähän kaukana oot, kun en edes näe sua.
Gonna be doing when he gets on the ice. He's thrown a ton of hits so far.
And he coughs it up with the pass.
Joo.
Throws it on net from
Ai se veti vielä. Pieni hidas komennus.
the offensive
Tai
end of
kunnon delay tossa.
and he comes up with it. And he slides it quickly to Ovechkin.
Kyllä pitää päästä siniviiva yli.
Here they come.
Nyt mä munasin. Vittu taas. Joo. Tää ole vaan se. Sitten kun näkee, että ei tehdä tiettyjä juttuja, sit joutuu lähteä itse kokeilemaan ja sit tulee virheitä.
Capitalize on their scoring
Niin se
opportunities
menee.
and lead comfortably here late in the first. And a solid job tying up his opponent. Here's a chance. 5 seconds and he makes the save. Well, the play might come to an end for a few minutes at the end of this period, but the coaching never stops. I'm sure there'll be a few
Miten tää nyt
messages,
menee?
a few words, and we'll be back with period number 2 in no time.
Joukosta.
Opening face-off for period number 2, about set to go. It was quite the one-sided tilt in the first 20 minutes. Let's see if that continues here in the second. Well, Cheryl, how do you sum this one up through the first 20 minutes?
The Icebreakers' performance was a
Hyvä. Jos kans meni.
James. We got to give some credit to the shooter here, James. A quick release shot makes it difficult for the goalie to get set to position, and when you're a little late, you can get a piece of it, but it still winds up in the back of the net.
The Icebreakers finally get some momentum going their way now. Can they sustain it, though?
It's going to be tough, James, unless they can string some shifts back-to-back together where they do create momentum and have possession in this game. You have to look for ways to be first to the puck, be relentless on it. That's what changes
Mikä toi
everything.
syöttö oli? Mikä tää vitu ongelma nyt tässä on, kun ei mikään olisi? Ei mikään. Pahoittelut Kiro. Ei mikään. Joku... Pitäis ostaa uusi ohje. Joo.
Everything that can go right is.
Yeah, it's all going right, James.
Näkee nämä molemmat ohjaamme. On viallisia. Tai sit tulee mieleen, että olisiko pleikkarin Bluetooth toiminnassa vaiettaan. Syötä se vittu saat idiot. Syötä. Osaatko? Piippupelle. Ei osaa pelaa, eikä. Piippupelle ei osaa. Tuo menee patajumiin tollasta. Pilaa koko saatana tiimi. Jos pitäis nauttia, niin ei siitä tuu mitään, kun on tommonen vitu ekopelle, joka ei taju syödä. Se pistää vihaan. Pilaa koko tiimi. Kaikki mahdollista. Mutta osassa se syö. Varmaan vahingossa.
Moves the puck up to McDavid. Broken up with the stick in the defensive end. Makes a move and the puck hops away from him. To the low slot.
Vaan tätä samaa päätöstä. Ei päästä ollenkaan tänne ylös. Ja sitten kun päästään, niin sitten on saatana piippuja omiin kaikki. Se ei auta, että sä teen yhden maalin, jos sä oot kussus saatana 10 hommaa. Syötä. Ei vittu kiinnosta. Miksi täältä ei löyty pelaajia? Kaikki tämmösiä roskiin heitettäviä. Ja Kusevi oli ihan... Mutta toi toinen pilastettiin. Voitaisko nyt vaan löytää yksi tiimi ja voittaa? Ei vaadi paljon. Nyt on jo ja alkaako aavipasta hiljalta? Tiedä.
Taiteilijana rakkaa lapsella tosi monta nimeä ja yrittää huonommuutta alistua. Mä oon perustanut yrityksiä, mä oon ensimmäinen 7. Koska mä pystyn mahdollistamaan itselle tämän unelmien toteuttamisen, mä haluan toteuttaa myös suunnitelman. Jos sulla on unelma, mikä liittyy kakkuun, niin on se sitten jo olemassa oleva pelastus. Tai ehkä uudet kakkuun, kerro siitä mulle. Tai ilmiannu sun ystävän läheinen perheenjäsen. Mä lupaan toteuttaa joku sen unelman täysin ilman veloitusta. Sen takia, että mä haluan tuoda hyvää mieltä sulle. Ja samalla myös tietenkin itselle. Mikään ei ole niin tärkeää, että toteuttaa unelmia, mitä me yhden elämän aikana. Jos mä pystyn edes joku sen unelman toteuttaa, tuomaan toiselle hyvää, nostattaa itsetuntoa ja vaikka mitä kaikkea ihanaa, niin mä teen sen enemmän kuin mielelläni. Laita mulle siis viestiä. Moi, mä oon Pelaa. Mulla on ollut pitkään semmoinen unelma, että mä haluan toimia johtajana kakkuartista. Taiteilijana, taiteilijana.
Se on ollut mitään sellaista. Kestääpä kauan tällä. Käytetään aika hyvin. Joo, tässä oikeastaan samalla kunnolla.
history being made here tonight in the EA SHL. Hi, everybody. I'm James Cebulski for EA Sports, their very first game in the league. Opening face-off is just seconds away.
Romaania kirja.
The Icebreakers are going to start with the puck after taking the opening draw. Looks to set up at the point now. Oh, he caught him in the open ice.
You want to send a message to your opponent early in the game, and that early delivery of a bone-crushing hit, that does just that.
Ei
And
saa.
that's a great read to force the turnover. Takes the puck into the corner of the offensive end. Unloads it. Big time stop. The Icebreakers have it now. Drives to the paint. Oh, what a tangle. Lehman's going to give him a
Insaan.
chance to breathe and hang on to the
Tää
puck.
ja vähän osaa pelaa.
Lots of time left in this period. Still scoreless in this one. Icebergs won the face-off here in the offensive zone. Back to the blue line. Along the half wall with the puck.
Ai.
Makes his presence known on the ice. Oh, what a hit against the boards.
Executed perfectly, James. I mean, he can't maneuver. He's got nowhere to go. He's lined up, and then he's taken down.
The Icebreakers take
Lippuja
possession
kai
of the
tuu
offensive end.
saamaan yhtään hyvää saamaan, se on varma.
Drives into the crease. There's his first in the EASHL. Well done.
Oh, what an amazing moment, James. Absolutely incredible. You'll never forget your first goal. And he does it with conviction. And you can see everyone around him just kind of celebrating right now. You got to believe someone's going to collect that puck.
Grabs the puck here in the neutral zone. The Nighthawks going to work on offense. Oh, and a misfire as that goes right out of the zone. He's got a step. He's got
Aizuba kyllä duunaa kaikkia.
Fast, too quick goal.
Tässä ainakin ytimessä. Se on varmaan just perään.
consistently keep your feet moving on the ice, and that pays off.
Well, they got the pedal to the metal right now. They're like a freight train.
Still a lot of time left in the period as we approach the midway mark. The Icebreakers have all the momentum right now, leading by 2. Grabs the puck at center. Blocked in traffic. The Nighthawks gain possession. Takes the feed from his own end. Oh, and he lines up his opponent perfectly with the hip check. They go on the attack through center. Takes a hit. He goes down to the ice and coughs up the puck. Williams brings it in. Drills him. Grabs
Wow.
control of it at the point. Looking to make something happen in the offensive zone. Takes a knock, but he's still got the puck. Pass out front, and that's stopped. Ovechkin stick handling in his own zone. Plays the puck up ahead. The Icebreakers gain possession along the wall. Oh, great read on the play. Oh, how about that move to shake off the defender? Moves it over to Ovechkin. Sidesteps the check.
Helvetti, tämmönen vitu valo pääsee alle.
One more to even the score. And after the draw, it's
Ooh,
Sanchez got a hold of the puck. From the point, looks to make something happen. Oh, and some smooth skating to lose the defender there. That knocks him off the puck. Feeds it over. The Icebreakers look to start the transition game. Trying to shake loose. Oh, great defensive effort.
How's that for momentum? In the last seconds of the frame, you find a way to put it in, and that's going to create a ton of momentum. So now, heading into the next period, you want to garner that momentum and carry it forward.
There's the whistle, icing the call, big face-off looming.
Yes.
The Icebreakers have been the better team so far in this first period. They've had multiple scoring opportunities, and as a result, have the lead. Well, there's the horn ending period number 1, but this one is far from over. Lots more action to go. Second period is just around the corner. And the official seems about ready to drop the puck on period number 2. The second stanza is underway as the puck is dropped. Let's go. Well, we've seen a pretty good sample size already played thus far, Cheryl. Look at this! Across the line! Oh, tremendous save to shut down the rush there! Wow! Denies him again!
You can certainly tell that the goaltender is dialed in on that last sequence of saves, James. He's to position, so he finds a way to make multiple saves back-to-back.
Lots of time left in this period. The Icebreakers are up 3-1. Here as he wins the draw inside the offensive zone. Grabbed along the boards by Ovechkin. And that's a solid clearing attempt on the play. And they'll dump it in. Right on the doorstep. Backhander. What a blocker. Stop at point-blank range by Wagner.
The goaltender is very aware of where that puck is in that low slot area and defends his crease by getting out, being aggressive, and taking away any of the net.
Officials have got both teams ready, and it looks like play is set to resume here. They win the face-off here in their own end and take possession. Icebergs into the offensive zone now on the attack. Rocked him in the open ice. Puck battle along the boards. And he takes the feed. Nice zone entry from the right side. And now he moves it quickly to Ovechkin. Shakes loose. Oh, he had him beat, but it goes off the inside post. Still lots of time left here in this frame. The Icebreakers have been getting solid offensive contributions, leading 3-1. Picks up the puck in his own end. And he loses control here. Sneaks by the post.
Vähän sattuu ihan se.
But his inability to convert because he ran out of room.
Skates to the crease. Gets a piece of it to keep it out. The Nighthawks have it now. Oh, what a hip check on the play. He delivered that perfectly. Both sides digging into that puck along the wall. Skips out of the battle along the boards.
Vittu mikä syö. Ei kyllä musta enää pelaa. Se on kyllä selvä.
The Nighthawks will play it in their own end. Oh, and they can't keep the puck in the zone. They'll be forced to tag up. Just a great defensive read there. Here comes the penalty shot. Iceberg's got the puck, and here he comes. It's a hat trick here on the road.
Well, old hat for him in a way because it's a business-like approach as he's on the road. He just says, yeah, just bring it. I mean, gets a hattie to boot.
More than half the period has expired. The Icebreakers now lead by 2. Moves it around along the half wall. Gives them nothing in front.
Well, he's extremely dangerous when he has the puck on his stick.
Come on.
He's like a magician, and it's on a
Kumpi
string.
potti
This time,
voittaa?
though, the
Kumpi
goaltender
vie
shuts him down.
paremmat korvat?
And he passes it up ahead to Ovechkin. Finds some space in the corner. Oh, textbook. Hip check. He got all of that one. They've got numbers. Dishes it off. Oh, what a save on the play. Comes up with the stop. And he uses his reach to disrupt the play. Lets it fly. Great read as he crouches down to block it. Breakaway.
Nyt pitää pärjää. Tää osaa yhtä. Se 1-2 ja maali. Ei niinku tarvii osaa yhtä.
It's gonna take some time, but man, has he ever had an effective night. He had 2, and he was thinking 3 all the way.
Good penalty shot coming up after that whistle. All eyes here at center. Fires it. Makes the Icebreakers continue to lead here in the late stages of this second period. All right, we've played
Vastaus
now 40
loppuu.
minutes in this one, and still a critical 20 minutes still needs to be played. Go stretch your legs, grab that final snack, because the third period is just around the corner.
Miksi ne ei osaa painaa tätä? Joutuu aina kattoo. Tässä Shellissä on joku hiro, jengi ei taju painaa. Ne erän verran kun oottelee.
Welcome back. James Cebulski ready to bring you all the play-by-play. Puck is dropped in period number 3. There has been no shortage of offense at either end tonight. Cheryl, 40 minutes in the books now played. How do you view this one?
The Icebreakers continue to lead in this third period, but the question is for how long, James? I mean, this has been a back-and-forth, action-packed game of offense. I don't know. I wouldn't like to play in this game because I was all defense, and there's none of it tonight.
Oh, great move to sidestep the check. Puck picked up by Gill. And now it's grabbed by Williams. From the right side, he goes to the middle of the neutral zone. Here he is, all alone.
Oi elämä, mene nyt helvettiin. Nouse.
He's really laboring and fighting to stay in the play.
Into the offensive zone. And he sidesteps the check there. Cutting to the slot. Here he is in close. The Nighthawks have it from their own end.
Ja Aizube taas alkoi flippailemaan, kun ei syöttö onnistu.
into the defensive zone. Battle ensues for that loose puck along the boards. And that's out of reach and out of the offensive zone. Puck scooped up by Ovechkin. Right up Main Street and on the attack. Knocked around but keeps it going. Great stick work as he pokes it away.
Well, perfect setup for the one-timer here, but the goaltender makes a perfect read to make the save.
And a great save.
Don't pass.
And that's broken up. Takes the puck. He's all alone with the goaltender.
Yeah, buddy.
He lights the lamp as he buries that one, James. But he
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
just that in that battle. Execution. That's how you do it.
Strong defensive effort. Puck grabbed by Ovechkin. Makes some space. Oh, and he whiffs.
EA Sports. The game.
Here in the third.
This third period, and they'll need to have their best hockey at the last if they want to get back in this one.
Long lead pass into the neutral zone. No room for that one to get through. Loose puck battle along the boards. The Icebreakers gain control of the puck. Sends it ahead to Ovechkin. Slips by the check. Iceberg's got the puck in his own zone. Trying to gain a step. Slides it across. Stopped on the breakaway. What a save he made there.
Well, I loved how he challenged the shooter on this, James. He didn't sit back in his net. He came right out to the top of the paint. He said, if you're going to beat me, you got to find room.
Coming up on the final minute of regulation time. Taken by Ovechkin. Great reach with the poke check. Icebergs lugging the puck. Here's a chance.
Yeah. Oliko se sitten se kuuluisa voitto? Ihan se. Saatiin julkaistua tuo kuva. Ja se on siinä. Lala Entertainment kiittää jälleen. Ensi kerralla. Muutama on huono. Lomaa nyt, niin käytetään sitä. Nautitaan nyt näistä jutuista. Siinä. Nähdään seuraavassa livessä. Peace.